So as we know, the Xbox hardware is coming. There is a next generation. You still have major influencers, major people with tons of followers talking about how there is no Xbox console going forward. This is going to be the last generation of hardware. It's actually crazy. A lot of the lies and misinformation that's still being spread around about the future of what Xbox is doing with their hardware division. There is going to be another Xbox. Everything we've heard about it to me sounds extremely exciting from the console hybrid perspective, getting access to all of your games on PC as well on the console. We have heard that there's going to be a dual booting sort of style of thing where you're going to have the console side. You're also going to have the access to the Windows side, which where you'll get your entire ecosystem on all of the different launchers plus your Xbox games. I think it will be very similar to what we do see right now on the ROG Xbox Ally and with the full screen experience. However, they are said multiple times you are going to have that console library there. So everything you have right now on your Series X and S should be coming over to the next Xbox. And Sarah Bond discusses the future and continues to give us more information as to what we can expect and what do hardware customers really mean to Xbox? Because you could argue, especially with the raise in prices and the whole Xbox, everything is an Xbox marketing campaign, and some of the things with Game Pass, where PC Game Pass get a better deal than console Game Pass, that they don't really care nearly as much about the console player anymore because that market has stagnated and they're trying to grow. They're trying to target people who aren't currently within Xbox. And if you are on the console and you've already spent a ton of money, you're probably a relatively loyal customer to the brand, and you're probably going to continue to pick up the hardware and still play a lot of your games from Xbox because you've already built up a digital library. So it has people thinking, do they even care about those customers anymore? Are they being left behind? Well, Sarah Bond does comment on this even further. This was an interview that she had here, and she was talking with Fortune about her career and offered hints about the current trajectory of Xbox. And this is what she says. Xbox is really all about making it easy for people to access and play their games, which they absolutely have been doing that. And I hope they do continue with that, and especially with the console games. She says, we know that's what players care about. And so all of this innovation, all of the things that are happening in the industry, they are being harnessed to enable that more easily and more accessibly for customers than ever before. All of these things are potential disruptions if you look at it another way and say, hey, I want to actually keep the status quo, but they're actually things that the player really wants. They're true unlocks. So we do talk about on social media a lot whether gamers and Xbox gamers actually want any of this. I think there's definitely a hardcore fanboy side of gaming on social media, really kind of limited to that. They never want to see the industry to ever change. They want their exclusives. They want that walled garden ecosystem across Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, and will rather see another company die than that ever change, which to me is kind of crazy because I think right now, especially with the Xbox Play Anywhere, we do see the new Steam machine that is coming out. And to me, that is pretty exciting what they're doing there. They are opening up the ways that you can play, access your games, and just giving you more options. And for gamers, for the consumer, at the end of the day, that is always better when you are getting more options on how you want to enjoy your content. Now, when it comes specifically to the hardware and the multi-platform gaming, she says here, Xbox is a brand that people have counted on now for almost 25 years. We're coming up to the 25th anniversary, and people who play Xbox love Xbox. Our players deeply care about what Xbox is. It has a ton of meaning for them, and so changing it is hard. You know there are things coming in the future that you need to invest in to help ensure the long-term health and growth of the brand, but you also know there are players who really love what Xbox is right now. We relentlessly look at the core metrics of the health of the business, how many people are playing, what our hours of play are, what people are buying and what people are subscribing to. Listening to both what people say and how they behave is how we continuously make changes, adjust, and learn along the way. So, I mean, that's not shocking. People think that these decisions are just made out of nowhere, but clearly they have a lot of back end data and analytics that drive the changes and the decisions that are being made for Xbox, and the other companies do the exact same thing. Now, the next question was on the hardware and the future of Xbox. And she says, hardware is absolutely core to everything that we do at Xbox. So that is A very big statement if you want to believe her. Of course, the CEOs, the leadership at Xbox have said one thing and other things have happened. Not that I think that they were lying when they said those things, but businesses are always changing. And it's crazy that people don't see that. Businesses are always changing. And if they have to pivot, they'll pivot. Even if they said something 5 years ago, that will not be what they do 5 years later. But she is saying, it's a big statement. Hardware is absolutely core to everything that they do at Xbox. So that means that they're staying fully invested in making sure that Xbox gamers have hardware to play on. She says, because we know that our most valuable players, the people who love Xbox, love the hardware experience. And I would argue that you probably have people on Xbox who are on the console. Those are the people that spend the most, by far the most within the ecosystem. And I'm sure that they have that data as well. They say that is why we are working on our next generation hardware. It's going to be a powerful experience and one that also enables people to take their library with them. What's really important here is that while people want to play their library on the console, they also want to be able to play it on PC or stream it through the cloud. The Xbox experience starts with the console. And I would say we haven't heard. I do think it will have a relatively big effect. Obsidian, however, says it hasn't used generative AI at all so far. Will they in the future? Who knows? But right now they have not. This is an interview with GameFile, and they say various Obsidian devs touch on AI following some old comments that tech could be used in the writing process. The comments from 2019 by Obsidian's Leonard Boyarsky were hypothetical at the time, and the studio has now confirmed that we haven't been using AI at all. So if you are completely against playing any games with AI, you can rest assured right now, Outer Worlds 2, a Valve that just came out, that sentiment in recent marketing. So that's why people ask questions, but she's saying that right here. And it's up to you if you want to believe that their actions will be much louder than their words when we get to the next generation. Then she says, but then gives people something they can experience across all screens if they choose to, bring in their library, their community, their identity, and the store with them everywhere they go. So that is some of the major things she did say in this interview. You can go watch the whole interview if you do want for yourself, but she's doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, whatever you want, because they've talked about this now multiple times over the last month or two, but there is hardware coming. It is going to be something that lets you play everything, your console and the PC side of stuff. And to me, very exciting. I think that is a great move by Xbox. And as a consumer, I have games across multiple PC launchers, lots on Steam and on Xbox. Those are the two places where I have the majority of my games. And if I can access all of that in one place, no problem, with a console-like experience, I'm all for that. The thing with the Steam machine, you could say that's coming out and that's kind of doing that for you. It's not going to give you the same amount of access if you play on Xbox at all. I mean, you're not getting access to Xbox. You're staying solely within SteamOS. And not only are you not getting all of the games that you would have on the Xbox app or Play Anywhere, you're also not getting access to big games like Call of Duty and the Fortnites and the Battlefield 6s because they don't have any of the anti-cheat stuff in there. So there is a major differentiating factor. I know a lot of people have used Steam Machine as, for some reason, killing the Xbox or that the other consoles are in jeopardy, which it will not be that. The Steam Machine is going to be a limited niche product for PC gamers, similar to what the Steam Deck was. So if you the more mainstream thing, I think, is going to be the next gen of Xbox, whether it's the OEM version of Xbox where you'll have probably cheaper options, or whatever Xbox puts out themselves, which is sounding like it is going to be more expensive, but still exciting nonetheless. One of the big selling points of Xbox and the next generation is Xbox Play Anywhere, is